My number 3, I don't know if this would be a shock to her or not, is actually 221 Baker Street. It's basically Clue, but it adds a little bit more elements to it. You have word puns, like play on words. You'll have or phrases you got to put together. Like you might have one that'll say the opposite of hot, and then it'll say that's the murderer. So then you're like, okay, cold. And you can read the story and say, well, there's a guy named Coldwater in this story, so maybe that's the guy. It was more than, some of them you might have one or two, but it's not like Clue where you have to have like the murder, the room, and the weapon. This one, it's depending on the story. Sometimes you have to get the motive and the weapon and the guy, or sometimes it's just always different every time you play. It's based on the story, and I think it's pretty cool with the storyline and everything of it. And you really have to use your noodle. You can hose your players, but not as much as you could in Clue. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is CV, which CV was a game that was at Essen. I don't know how much it's made it to the U.S., but I just happened to get an email one day from one of the websites.
I think it was Fun Again Games.
Yeah, Fun Again Games. And they had said Essen exclusive CV, and I was reading the instructions and I thought, or the description, I'm like, this is a little different than any of the games that we've played. Showed it to him on my phone where it gave the information, and he thought it sounded pretty cool. And so we ended up purchasing it, and that was the only place we could get it from, was through Fun Again. And I'm glad we have gotten it, because it is an interesting little game. You have to choose a profession, you've got to choose if you're going to have kids, and for every choice that you make, just like regular life, there's consequences or benefits. So I thought it was kind of cool.
And coincidentally, it just happens to be my number 2, CV. I really like the game, how that it takes the idea of that's your life, and you have to roll dice to acquire these the cards on there, but you could roll bad luck on the dice, and if you get 3 bad luck, with the combination of your cards you have in play or in the dice or tokens, you literally could lose one of your achievements you acquired. As well as you gotta be careful what you buy, because sometimes, like in the game, you really have to think, like, okay, it's really like life. The choices you make are really, really gonna impact your game and how it's gonna go. And it's just got great story to it. You can tell the story of how your life was, and you just can share those memories from game to game. You can say, remember that one time I decided to take early retirement, and then it's telling me I can never get another job again. And I'm like, and I should have not took early retirement that early, because the only thing that was coming up was job. Hey, I know that happened to me. And then, or get a baby early in life and then find out that you end up having to give up the kid because you don't have the money to support the kid. So it really is like
real life.
Real life, and it's doesn't matter if you win a game. It's just that story you're telling as you're going through the game that it makes it that much of an impact for me. It's like I didn't care if I won or lost. It was the points in the game are just compare who won and what lost. But to me, it didn't make a difference. It was just fun telling the story.
Mhm.
So.
Okay. So that ended up being your number 2.
Yeah. What was your number 2?
My number 2 is Rampage.
Really?
Yes, that is my number 2. I did enjoy Rampage. I like the fact that you can destroy, maim, and try to knock down buildings. That is fun. The flicking part of flicking the disc is okay. I'm not a huge fan of flicking games, but that one's not too bad. But I do like dropping the monsters and knocking discs, flicking discs off the top of monsters' heads and things like that. It is kind of cool and it's kind of fun to do. But,
Oh, that was your number 2, huh?
Yep.
Well, this is funny. Rampage happens to be my number 1 game. I don't know how we planned that one, but yeah, Rampage. I like it because it's one of my favorite video games when I was a kid. It does a really good job of capturing that, where you're climbing up the building and you're wrecking it, eating people, and destroying the monsters. It really captures a video game feel. It's just like it's like playing in a sandbox and then being able to just have fun with the game. It's like you got superpowers. You're dropping your monsters on top of buildings. Pieces are flying everywhere. It's even funny when you flick a vehicle. You're trying to hit a building, and it hits the building, and then for some odd reason the vehicle or meeple ricochets off the board, hits a monster, and knocks them over. And since they fell over, they'll take damage and they'll lose one of their teeth. And it's like, and it wasn't intended, but it's just hilarious to see the board just falling apart. It's one of those games that if you're really OCD about your games, like,
you would panic.
You'd panic because the pieces are flying everywhere. It's really cool with and it's just, whether you win or lose, it's just a fun game, just worth playing it, in my opinion.
Which really surprises me that he enjoys that as his number 1, because he is very OCD about his board games. Trust me, very OCD. And my number 1 was 221 Baker Street. I enjoyed it because it's Sherlock Holmes, and I do like having to figure out the clues. I like things that once in a while that make me think. I mean, it is some really strange clues. To me, that's kind of like a choose your own adventure. And I happen to go on Board Game Geek, and I just put in their search choose your own adventure games, and happened to pop up on a list. And I was like, and I sent him the information about it. He's like, okay, I'll get it for you for your birthday. So he ordered it for me for my birthday. And most of the people in our group really, really enjoyed it. And even though I haven't won, and I don't think he's won.
I won once.
Did you win once? Okay.
I lost once because I thought it was like,
I got 2 out of 3 things right, but you have to get 3 for 3. But I enjoyed it, and we ended up enjoying it so much that we contacted the company to try to find out about the expansions, because they had expansions, and online the expansions are outrageous. Yeah, but it's a blast, and I really, really enjoy it, because like I said, I like Sherlock Holmes. I like the choose your own adventure, so it brings the best of both worlds to it. And I haven't found a whole lot of like choose your own adventure type games out there other than Tales of Arabian Night, which we love. So that's why that is my number 1 game.
Yeah, I'm surprised that your Rampage was that high on your list, though.
It was fun. It's just it's different, but it's fun. I like it.